I live it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There was times during that workout that it felt like somebody took a 25-pound plate and smashed me against the side of my head. They didn't even need to raise a finger. Because during that entire 6 hours, I busted my ass. And I'll do whatever it takes to be the best. I'll go through anybody. I'll fight the entire world. There's nobody that's going to deny me of my rightful place as the best, the greatest bodybuilder in the world, Marco Antonio Buchnowski. I will be triumphant, and nobody's going to tell me otherwise. Even with all the pain and the soreness that I'm in, to the point where I can't even bend over, to the point where I can't even take my pants off, because I'm in so much excruciating pain. Not one thought in my mind ever came through that I would ever want to quit. I'll never quit. Giving up is not in my itinerary. I refuse to give up. I'm not going to let these yuppies get the satisfaction. Punk rock shall live forever. I'm going to fight every single day. Conformity fucking dies. By my hand. The hand of doing whatever you want. I live it. I give it my all every day just to be the best. Anything I ever did in my entire life, I was the best at. I go to the gym with the same drive that I had over 10 years ago when I first started bodybuilding. With that same desire and the passion and the hunger. I learned so much along the way. But I never forgot where I came from. Heaven. I'm not going to let anybody tell me I can't do something. I'm not going to let anybody tell me otherwise. I'm going to do what I want to do. And nobody's going to tell me otherwise. You spend too much time. These people are content with living under somebody's thumb. Somebody telling them what to do, how to fucking dress, how to do this, how to do that. They can't make their own decisions or be creative. I can do that. I can do what they can never do. They never had a best day. Every day is the best day for me. I live every day like it was the last. I'm happy with myself. I feel great. But these people don't have the privilege of being able to say that truthfully. They could do all the bullshit politics they want, but they're never ever gonna have the satisfaction of being able to say that. Because they're yuppies, that's all they are. That's all they know how to do is their bullshit. Bullshit politics and bullshit ass kissing. That's what a yuppie does. You know? It gets them nowhere. And they wonder why they're fucking miserable with themselves. Because they'll never be able to do anything otherwise. They're like puppets for the conformist fucking puppet show. And the fucking mainstream media is the fucking puppeteer with the strings that are connected to their ass. And if you don't want to fucking be a part of their puppet show, man, then you're gonna have to cut their strings, you know? You're gonna have to cut their strings. The only way you're gonna do that is you gotta start a revolution. I'll fight against every yuppie. I walked in that fucking mall and I fucking destroyed those fucking yuppies. I went into their fucking I went into and I destroyed them. I didn't give a fuck what they fucking said. I don't give a fuck if they don't like me. I don't give a fuck, man. Because only good people like me. You know? I don't care about these fucking yuppies, man. They could fuck themselves. They could go fuck themselves with a dildo in their fucking ass. And somebody would kick it forward to fucking ram it into their fucking ass. You never get used to it. You can never get used to that pain of bodybuilding. But the pain is worth it. The rewards are 10 times greater. The pain is just a part of the sport. If you can't take that's a prerequisite. You have to be able to take the pain. I know how to deal with it, but you never get used to it. I must have gone through this pain time about 1,000,000 times in my career. And you never get used to it. You never get used to it. Never. I never got used to it. Still to this day, as I do this video voice log. And I tell you right now, I've got more results than anybody could ever brag about. And you still never get used to that pain and being sore and having your back feels like it torn out of your and it's like having your back being torn out. There was times when I was during that workout I had today that I was just in a whole new zone. I was in a whole new state of consciousness that nobody in that gym could ever be able to experience. It's like you work out to the point where you're just in a whole new sense of consciousness. I can't even describe it. You have to go through it yourself. I worked out for 6 hours in a row. 6 hours. I dare anybody to try that. I dare anybody to. And I bet you won't be able to. I never took a break. Never took a break. Anytime I was sitting down, I was lifting. I was pressing up the weights every single time. Working as hard as I could, because that was the passion. It was the passion that drove me to work that hard. My heart is not going to let me quit. If you want to be a bodybuilder, you have to set a higher standard for yourself than anybody else. If you see them being lazy, that means you have to work 10 times harder. That's the kind of mentality that you have to be a bodybuilder, or you will not be a bodybuilder. You will not become a bodybuilder if you cannot think that way. You will struggle in mediocrity for the rest of your life if you cannot set a high standard for yourself, higher than anybody else's. Your dreams have to be your drive. The mental picture of what you want to look like has to drive you, and then once it starts to drive you, then you will start to see the results come in. But you have to do whatever it takes to